Welcome to Kaziranga National Park, a nature conservation area located in the far eastern Indian province of Assam. The park is famous for being home to the greatest number of Asian one-horned rhinoceroses to occur anywhere in the world. And this Asian one-horned rhinoceros is the species we are seeing now. Other notable mammals that make up the Big Five of this wildlife preserve include the Asian buffalo, Bengal tiger, swamp deer or Barasinga, and the Asian elephant. Two other especially notable species to occur in Kaziranga National Park include the Great Indian Hornbill and the Hulak gibbon, a species of lesser ape. Kaziranga National Park is situated on the northern bank of the Brahmaputra River and covers an area of 430 square kilometers, or 166 square miles, in both districts of Golaghat and Nagaon in the northeastern Indian province of Assam. The park is approximately 40 kilometers or 25 miles in length from east to west and 13 kilometers or 8 miles in breadth from north to south. Kaziranga National Park has received the distinction of being proclaimed the most popular UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Assam, India. This status was conferred by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization in 1985. The history of Kaziranga National Park dates back to 1904, when Mary Curzon, wife of then Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon, visited this area. During her visit, Mary Curzon was disappointed to discover that she could not observe a single Asian one-horned rhinoceros. However, knowing from forest reports that this rhinoceros species was still residing there in Assam, India, though at critically endangered population levels, some sources suggest less than 20 individuals remained at the time, Mary Curzon acted by herself to establish Kaziranga Proposed Reserved Forest on the 1st of June, 1905. The area of the initial park was 232 square kilometers, or about 84 square miles. In 1908, Kaziranga National Park was confirmed as a reserve forest. The park was then declared as Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary in 1950. Official recognition of Kaziranga as a national park was affirmed on the 1st of January 1974. And finally, the national park was recognized as Kaziranga Tiger Reserve in 2006. The efficient and successful maintenance of Kaziranga National Park, which, of course, includes protecting its unique wildlife, begins with dedicated, tirelessly working forest guards, or rangers. Indeed, under conditions of extreme hardship, the protectors of Kaziranga battle numerous challenges to ensure the safety and security of the animals within the park. Preserving wildlife has never been easy. For those who work to protect Kaziranga National Park in Assam, the challenges are many and daily. Poachers prowl through all thickets. Rhinos are targeted for their horns and tigers for their body parts, which are in great demand for use in traditional Chinese medicine. During the monsoon, the raging river Brahmaputra wreaks havoc when it floods the land. Herds of wild buffaloes and elephants can suddenly charge a village bordering the park. According to 48-year-old Kaziranga Ranger Mohammed Manik Ali, however, no challenge is a deterrent to doing his job. Says Ali, quote, "I have grown up watching the enigmatic landscape. I am proud to be working as a forest guard in this famed habitat of greater one-horned rhinos." The rhinoceros belongs to the family Rhinocerotidae and includes 4 genera, 5 species, and 11 subspecies. Only 5 species of rhinoceros are surviving in the world, of which 3 species, namely the Greater One-horned Rhinoceros, Rhinoceros unicornis seen here, the Javan rhinoceros, Rhinoceros sondacus, and the Sumatran rhinoceros, Rhinoceros sumatrensis, occur only in Asia. The remaining 2 of the 5 rhinoceros species, namely the black rhinoceros, Diceros bicornis, and the white rhinoceros, Ceratotherium simum, occur on the African continent. Focusing our attention now on the Asian one-horned rhinoceros, also known as the Indian rhinoceros, we can note that this species lives in floodplain grassland and adjacent riverine forests of northern India and southern Nepal. Asian one-horned rhinoceroses once inhabited a much greater geographic range, which included Pakistan and Myanmar. However, because of human pressure, they are now confined to only a few protected areas of India and Nepal. Notably, Kaziranga National Park is home to the largest population of Asian one-horned rhinoceroses. According to recent rhino population census conducted in 2015, there are 2,401 rhinos found in the park. Greater Asiatic One-horned Rhinoceroses do not have a specific mating season. They are polygynandrous, meaning both males and females have multiple mates. Female Greater Asiatic One-horned Rhinoceroses indicate their reproductive availability and readiness by urinating frequently and whistling loudly. These signals typically attract interested males within 8 to 10 hours. Males taste the urine that females have left behind to confirm their estrous state. Males respond to reproductively active females with pre-copulatory behavior, such as prolonged chases of 1 to 2 kilometers. These behaviors ensure that males are physically fit and that they are likely dominant bulls. This species gives birth to 1 offspring at a time. For 12 to 18 months following birth, infants get their nutrition from milk that their mothers produce, after which they transition to a diet of grasses, shrubs, and fruit, similar to that of adults. Female rhinoceroses tend to reach reproductive maturity at 4 to 5 years of age, while male rhinoceroses reach reproductive maturity at 7 to 8 years of age. They graze during the early morning, late afternoon, and throughout the night. They most commonly eat grasses, but also eat flowers, fruit, twigs, and branches, and grains such as rice. During the dry season, grasses make up the majority of the diets of this species. Note that this female is spraying urine, perhaps advertising to males that she is in estrus. The Asiatic buffalo is both diurnally and nocturnally active, as it generally grazes during the mornings and evenings. Throughout the year, this species congregates into maternal groups of herds that are not strictly controlled and organized. The number of individuals within a group can be 10 to 20, but sometimes may reach as many as 100. The home range of each group is 170 to 1,000 hectares, that is 0.66 to 3.86 square miles of territory. This must contain water resources as well as areas for grazing and resting. Adult males congregate into bachelor herds, containing up to 10 individuals, while older males prefer leading a solitary life. To keep cool in the heat of the day, buffaloes roll in the mud and take mud baths. Not only does the mud help keep them cool, but it also protects their skin from bites by insects. In the absence of mud, they usually rest in a shadowy place. Asiatic buffaloes are herbivorous. Their regular diet includes aquatic plants, crops, grasses, herbs, leaves, and bark of trees. They feed on aquatic vegetation that grows in marshy areas along rivers and also eat microalgae and stems. Asiatic buffaloes are polygynous, meaning that one male mates with multiple females. The dominant male mates with females of the clan, after which the male is driven away by them. The breeding season usually takes place from October to November. The gestation period lasts 11 months, after which a single calf is born. A newborn calf weighs 35 to 40 kilograms on average, or about 80 to 90 pounds. Calves are nursed for 6 to 9 months, becoming independent during the first 2 years after birth. Male buffaloes reach reproductive maturity at the age of 1.5 years, while females do at the age of 3 years. Threats to Asiatic buffalo populations are many and include the following: parasites and diseases, usually transmitted by livestock, hunting, loss of habitat, interbreeding of wild buffaloes with domestic and feral buffaloes, competition for water and food between buffaloes and domestic livestock. According to the IUCN Red List, the overall population of the Asiatic buffalo is not more than 4,000 individuals. This includes 2,500 adults. Currently, this species is classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List, and its numbers today are decreasing. The Monitoring of Tigers and Prey Animals of Kaziranga National Park report, released by Assam Forest and Environment Department, revealed that the density of tigers at Kaziranga is 32.64 tigers per 100 square kilometers, the highest in the world. Despite this, the very tall grasses and lush, dense forest habitat of Kaziranga National Park generally makes actually seeing one of these magnificent, striped big cats a challenge here. Tigers are the largest members of the cat family and are renowned for their power and strength. Native exclusively to Asia, in the areas where tigers occur, they are the top predator. Tigers live alone and aggressively scent mark large territories to keep their rivals away. They are powerful nocturnal hunters that travel many miles to find buffalo, deer, wild pigs, and other large mammals. They use their distinctive coats as camouflage. Note that no two tigers have exactly the same stripes. They lie in wait and creep close enough to attack their victims with a quick spring and a fatal pounce. A hungry tiger can eat as much as 60 pounds in one night, though they usually eat less. Despite their fearsome reputation, most tigers avoid humans. Females give birth to litters of 2 to 6 cubs, which they raise with little or no help from the male. Cubs cannot hunt until they are 18 months old and remain with their mothers for 2 or 3 years, after which they disperse to find their own territory. There were 8 tiger subspecies at one time, but 3 became extinct during the 20th century. Over the last 100 years, hunting and forest destruction have reduced tiger populations from hundreds of thousands of animals to perhaps fewer than 6,000 wild individuals worldwide as of 2024. Most Bengal tigers live in India. They are the most common tiger subspecies and number about half of all wild tigers worldwide. Over many centuries, they have become an important part of Indian tradition and lore.
He's marking over there, see? Is it male? She's sitting over there.
And here we see a particularly handsome example of a male Asian elephant who sports a sizable pair of tusks. Asian elephants are the largest mammals of India. In Kaziranga National Park and its adjoining habitats, there are, as of a recent census, some 908 herd adults, 228 adult males, and 610 juveniles and young. Notably, Asian elephant skin is gray, but parts sometimes lack color, especially on and around the ears, forehead, and trunk. This depigmentation is believed to be controlled by genetics, nutrition, and habitat, and generally develops as elephants age. Brownish to reddish hair covers the bodies of young elephants. The amount of hair reduces with age, and the color darkens. Elephant skin varies from paper-thin in some places, such as on the inside of the ears, to as thick as 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters, in other places, such as around the neck. Despite its thickness, the skin is sensitive due to a rich nerve supply. Elephants protect their skin from the sun and insects by regularly covering themselves with dirt, sand, and mud. Their large ears function as cooling devices. The ears contain many blood vessels. As an elephant flaps its ears on hot days, the blood in these veins cools. This, in turn, cools the elephant's brain and, as the blood travels back through the body, reduces body temperature by several degrees. An elephant's brain is large, weighing between 9 and 13 pounds. Or about 4 to 6 kilograms. Elephants are thought to be highly intelligent animals, and they have a great capacity to learn. In fact, much of their behavior is learned behavior rather than instinctive behavior. Unlike other mammals where the legs are in an angular position, the elephant's legs are stacked in an almost vertical position beneath the body. This positioning, along with the detailed anatomy of their long bones, provides a strong support for the animal's great weight. The vertical position of the limbs allows the elephant to remain standing for long periods without expending much energy. It also allows elephants to sleep while standing, as well as while lying down. In most mammals, the bones contain a narrow cavity. In elephants, this cavity is lacking. Instead, a network of dense perforated bone occupies the space, which makes the bones stronger and able to withstand more pressure. Unsurprisingly, the elephant's skeleton is designed for mobility as well as strength. An elephant must have physical structures and coordinated muscular and neurological systems to accomplish survival skills, such as standing on their rear legs and climbing up and down steep slopes. Elephants actually walk on their toes and have a thick fibrous pad on the bottom of each foot. This pad acts as a shock absorber, protecting the leg and toe bones from jarring under its weight and cushioning each step. Asian elephants have one small projection at the end of their trunk, called a finger, which aids with precise handling of the trunk. Elephants use their trunks to take up water and squirt it into their mouths. The trunk is capable of performing many other functions as well, including feeding, snorkeling, dusting, smelling, sifting, sorting, touching, sound production and communication, lifting, pushing, defense, and offense. It can hold about 2 gallons or 7.57 liters of water. Senses of smell and touch are very important for elephants. Their trunks help them to know their world. Notably, tusks are modified upper incisors that grow throughout an individual elephant's life at a rate of several inches per year. They are composed of ivory, a material similar to bone that is made primarily of calcium and phosphate. In the case of Asian elephants, only some males have large, prominent tusks. Most females and some male Asian elephants have small tusks, called tushes, which seldom protrude more than an inch or two from the lip line. Tushes have a slightly different composition than tusks. They are small and brittle, causing them to easily break. A significant number of adult male Asian elephants are tuskless. The percentage of males with tusks varies by region, with less than 10% in Sri Lanka to approximately 90% in India. This disparity may be a reflection of the intensity of past ivory hunting. Asian elephants are herbivores and spend about 3/4 of each day eating or moving toward a food or water source. Feeding is not continuous, with 3 principal feeding bouts in the early morning, afternoon, and night. They feed primarily on grasses, but also consume large amounts of browse, including leaves, roots, vines, twigs, shoots, and bark, as well as fruit. Cultivated crops such as bananas and sugarcane are also a favored food, placing them in conflict with farmers. With regard to social structure, we can note that Asian elephants typically live in small herds of related females, their female offspring, and immature males. These elephants are extremely social and form complex relationships, working together to raise their young and to protect the group. Unlike African elephants, they do not have a matriarch. However, individual females will sometimes take on a more dominant role. Male elephants typically leave the herd when they reach puberty, between the ages of 8 and 13. This is often a gradual process, driven by the male's competitive and independent nature and the female's lack of tolerance for their aggressive behavior. Young males tend to form loose bachelor herds, sometimes following female herds or foraging alone. As males age, they typically become more competitive and spend more time alone. Wild male and female elephants reach sexual maturity between the ages of 8 to 13 years. Females usually have their first birth in their mid-teens. Behavioral studies tell us that males are unlikely to father a calf until they are in their 30s, when they are best able to compete with older, larger males. By about the age of 30, most healthy males begin to experience a regular period of heightened sexual and aggressive activity called must. Must is a massive rush of testosterone that makes males aggressive and competitive. It also makes them especially attractive to females in estrus. Females come into estrus about every 115 days. Gestation is between 21.5 and 22 months, the longest gestation period for any animal. Usually one calf, occasionally two, is born and weighs between 150 and 350 pounds, or 68 to 158 kilograms. There is an average birth interval of 3 to 8 years, depending on environmental conditions. Calves stand and nurse soon after birth. By 6 months, calves begin feeding on vegetation. They also eat their mother's dung for several years, which contains nutrients as well as the symbiotic bacteria that aid in the digestion of cellulose. Weaning is a gradual process that may continue until the mother delivers another calf. Males leave their natal herd at sexual maturity, but females remain within the family unit throughout their lives. Elephants communicate over long distances using low-pitched sounds that are barely audible to humans. These powerful infrasonic rumbles contain specific messages that can be heard and understood by other elephants more than 2 miles away. Researchers believe that an elephant's ability to converse over long distances is essential for its survival. Females in estrus make very low, long calls that bulls hone in on. Breeding herds also use low-frequency vocalizations to warn of predators. Adult bulls and cows have no enemies except for humans, but young elephants are susceptible to attacks by tigers in the areas where their ranges overlap. When a predator appears, older members of the herd emit intense warning calls that prompt the rest of the herd to clump together for protection and then flee the scene. A sighting of the fishing cat in Kaziranga National Park is a very rare occurrence indeed. About twice the size of a typical house cat, the fishing cat is a feline with a powerful build and stocky legs. An adept swimmer, the fishing cat enters water frequently to prey on fish, as its name suggests. It is known to even dive to catch fish. Wetlands are the favorite habitats of the fishing cat. In India, fishing cats are mainly found in the mangrove forests of the Sundarbans, on the foothills of the Himalayas along the Ganga and Brahmaputra river valleys, and in the western Ghats. The fishing cat is nocturnal and, apart from fish, also preys on frogs, crustaceans, snakes, birds, and scavenges on carcasses of larger animals. It is capable of breeding all year round, but in India its peak breeding season is known to be between March and May. Litter size varies between 1 to 4 individuals, and the young are suckled to an age of 6 months. They become independent once they are 10 months old. In the wild, fishing cats have been known to live up to about 12 years on average. Like the fishing cat, another rarely seen mammal of Kaziranga National Park is the greater hog badger. Though similar in size to the more familiar badgers of Europe and North America, its appearance is quite different. Most notably, the greater hog badger possesses an elongated, pig-like snout and modified teeth, which point forward. These are used for turning over the soil. This species is exclusively nocturnal and feeds mainly on roots, tubers, and fallen fruits. This diet is supplemented by forest floor invertebrates and small vertebrates if available. By day, it remains concealed in its burrow. The Barasinga, or swamp deer, were once distributed throughout the Indian peninsula, but today are only found in areas of central and northern India and southern Nepal. Adult swamp deer stand between 119 to 124 centimeters, that is 48 to 50 inches at the shoulder, and weigh approximately 172 to 181 kilograms, or 390 to 410 pounds. Their coats are chestnut brown on the back, fading to a lighter brown on the sides and belly, with a creamy white on the inside of the legs, rump, and underside of the tail. Barasinga are polygynous, a dominant stag collecting a harem of up to 30 hinds or females. He will fight with other males for possession of the harem and the right to breed. At the beginning of the rut in mid-October, herds start to break apart and males create wallows. Male Barasinga wallow by urinating and defecating in muddy pools and then roll, coating themselves in scent. Males also begin to bugle and bark. These sounds are sometimes compared to the braying of mules. Their calls will continue throughout the rut and well into February. Fights between competing males occur as they form harems. Males will scrape the ground with their hooves and then run at each other, clashing antlers. Breeding or rutting season begins in October and continues through February. The gestation period lasts 240 to 250 days, with most fawns born between September and October. A female Barasinga reaches sexual maturity at 2 years of age. Barasingas have one fawn per year, rarely twins. The smooth-coated otter has a short and sleek fur that is dark to reddish-brown along the back, but light brown to almost gray on the underside. It is distinguished from other otter species by its more rounded head and a hairless nose in the shape of a distorted diamond. Its tail is flattened, in contrast to the more rounded tails of other otter species. Its legs are short and strong, with large webbed feet bearing long claws. The smooth-coated otter lives in southern and Southeast Asia, China, and India, and in Iraq there is a small population. These otters are primarily found in lowlands, peat swamp forests, coastal mangrove forests, large forested rivers, freshwater wetlands, lakes, and rice paddies. Smooth-coated otters are adapted to water but are equally comfortable being on land and are able to travel long distances overland when seeking a suitable habitat. This species is unusually social and mostly nocturnal. Family groups, which include the breeding pair with up to 4 young born in the previous season, may nest and hunt together within a territory measuring 7 to 12 square kilometers. The Assam roofed turtle is a species with a triangular and elevated carapace with a prominent spiked keel and strongly serrated marginal plates. The Assam roofed turtle is a rare species known only from a few individuals. It is believed to have one of the narrowest distributions of any South Asian geomydid. It is exploited for its meat and eggs, for local consumption, and may also enter the pet trade. Habitat destruction by logging and incidental capture in fishing gear are also thought to present threats. This species is currently classified as endangered by the IUCN. The black giant squirrel is one of the largest species of squirrel in the world. On average, a mature black giant squirrel weighs around 1.05 to 1.25 kilograms, that's 2.3 to 2.8 pounds, and has a snout to tail length of 34 to 37 centimeters, that is 13 to 15 inches, with the tail adding another 41 to 42 centimeters or 16 to 17 inches in length. The black giant squirrel's range includes a variety of bioregions that all share the commonality of being forested. It ranges in elevation from sea level up to at least 2,500 meters, that is 8,200 feet. In recent decades, The species has been steadily encroached upon by human settlement, timber harvesting, and agriculture, which, along with overhunting by human predation in parts of its range, has resulted in total loss of up to 30% of the population in the past 10 years. Kaziranga National Park is one of the best places to sight the black giant squirrel. This species is listed by the IUCN as endangered. Black giant squirrels exhibit very similar reproductive behavior to most tree squirrel species. A female will give birth to 1 to 2 altricial young twice yearly. They have a gestation period that lasts an average of 31.5 days, after which they will nurse their young for approximately 5 weeks. Indian palm squirrels are solitary and only come together during the breeding season. They are active during the day, spending their time both in trees and on the ground. Indian palm squirrels are busy and fairly vocal creatures, producing a cry that sounds like a chip 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 when danger is present. They are usually very protective of their food sources, often guarding and defending them from birds and other squirrels. Unlike some other species of squirrel, Indian palm squirrels do not hibernate. They are opportunists in urban areas and can easily be tamed and trained to accept food from humans. Three-striped palm squirrel. The Irrawaddy squirrel, or hoary-bellied squirrel, is a relatively small squirrel which inhabits parts of northwestern Southeast Asia and beyond. It is named after the Irrawaddy River, which runs through the heart of Myanmar. The term hoary means grayish-white. It is an adaptable species which can thrive in a variety of forest types, including deciduous broad-claved woodland, coniferous evergreen forest, secondary growth, and mixed agricultural areas. Population densities are higher in disturbed forests when compared with intact forests. Its diet includes a wide range of vegetation including seeds, flowers, fruits, bark, and lichen, as well as insects and probably occasional small vertebrates.